What up, Space Fam? Golden here for AnimeUproar, and today I'm going to be talking about the strongest pillar, Gyomei himself. In the last video, I'd said I'd make this one if we got 5,000 likes, and we did. So as promised, here I am with the newest How Strong Is video. If we can get 5,000 likes again, I will start the next one ASAP. As always, you can vote for what that video is going to be via Instagram stories. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at AnimeUproar because we regularly have these votes over there. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is important, ring that notification bell because if you don't, you won't get notified when new videos come out. There will be manga spoilers in this video because we are going to be looking at all of the evidence available in order to figure out exactly how strong Gyomei, the strongest pillar, really is. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. It may seem random to say, but one of the reasons that I like Gyomei, the blind, gentle giant, is that he's considerably older than Tanjiro. He's actually 27 years old, which is actually older than me. That means that he has a lot more experience as well. It's also interesting that he cries so much, even though he's so strong and can kick so much demon butt. His backstory is no less tragic than that of the others, and within it, we see the beginning of Gyomei's power. Long ago, he raised and protected some orphan children in a temple. Their collective lack of blood connections actually connected them and helped them bond. Gyomei raised them all as if they were his family. He wanted to protect them forever, but one kid disobeyed the temple rules and ran into a demon. In order to save himself, the kid sold out Gyomei and the other 8 kids at the temple. He put out the Wisteria incense, aka demon repellent, and the demons were free to attack. The demon killed 4 kids immediately. Although Gyomei wanted to protect the other 4, 3 kids didn't listen to him. He explains that he didn't eat a lot then. He was skinny and weak, and even his voice was soft, so he couldn't shout loudly. On top of that, because he was blind, the kids didn't trust that he could save them. Only the youngest child, Sayo, listened and stayed. The others were quickly killed, but Gyomei was determined to protect Sayo at all costs. Even though he's extremely gentle by nature, Gyomei was ready to fight. Punching a living thing felt terrible. He felt so disgusted with himself. For the first time ever, he used his fists with full force and discovered that he had a frightening amount of power. It was during this first battle that he got the scar over his forehead. If he was never attacked by that demon, Gyomei would have lived his entire life not knowing he was actually strong. This guy, who loathes violence, punched the demon's head again and again until the sun came up. I don't know if there's a more epic first demon encounter than that. It was a horrible situation, but at least he had protected Sayo. Yet somehow Sayo turned on him, despite everything he did for her. She was young, scared, and confused, and when people came to help her, she told them that Gyomei was a monster. She told them that he killed everyone. Gyomei's one saving grace was that he protected Sayo. He wanted her to be thankful, but it wasn't meant to be. The person he saved blamed him for everything. Gyomei was imprisoned and charged with murder. He was going to be executed, but luckily, Oyakata-sama saved him. From there, he went on to become the strongest pillar. When they are training under him, Inosuke can't help but notice how awesome Gyomei, aka Ball Old Guy, is. Inosuke, who has amazing animal-like intuition, says that Gyomei gave him chills ever since the first time he met him. Inosuke says that there is no doubt about it. Gyomei is the strongest demon hunter. And then Tanjiro agrees with him, saying he figured that as well. Tanjiro says he's the only one with a different smell. Gyomei is so strong that when Tanjiro says to Zenitsu, maybe he can also become that strong, Zenitsu tells him that there's no chance. According to Zenitsu, Gyomei is insane. He's as big as a bear, and as a result, he is born with more strength than smaller guys. Obviously, size doesn't matter that much in anime and manga. Yoriichi, the strongest demon slayer in history, could still have defeated Gyomei even as an old man, but it's still interesting to note how others experience Gyomei's immense strength. Now let's fast forward to Gyomei's most important fight to date. The fight against Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo, the strongest Upper Moon, can help us to get a sense of Gyomei's power. As soon as Kokushibo sees Gyomei, he comments that Gyomei has a perfect physical form and that he developed it to the utmost. Kokushibo comments that it's been 300 years since he's seen someone so talented and strong. Gyomei, unlike most of the other demon slayers, doesn't use a sword to battle. He uses a chain with a giant spiked ball on one end of it and an axe on the other. As we see against Kokushibo, Gyomei is extremely skilled and he can release both of these weapons at his opponent at the same time. The chain is so strong, the purity of all the iron is so extremely high that even Kokushibo, the greatest Upper Moon, cannot hope to cut through it with his blade. Kokushibo claims that iron that has absorbed that much sunlight hadn't even been discovered in the Sengoku period, when swordsmithing was at its peak. So Gyomei has an extraordinary weapon to go with his extraordinary strength. Despite how no one else could hope to fight one-on-one against Kokushibo, Gyomei does pretty well for a while. He dodges a number of Kokushibo's attacks. Kokushibo says that Gyomei is heavily built and has the strength to wield his extremely heavy weapon as if it was an extension of his body, with so much lightness and agility. Kokushibo says that it's nothing short of unbelievable. Such a compliment from the strongest upper moon further speaks to Gyomei's strength. Gyomei even manages to break Kokushibo's blade, although it quickly regenerates. All this happens before Gyomei even gets fully serious. He goes on to manifest his Demon Slayer mark, which drastically increases his impressive power even further. When Kokushibo says that the mark means Gyomei will die soon, Gyomei, cool as a rock, is not fazed at all. He says that for all Demon Slayers, there is no guarantee that you will live to tomorrow. Gyomei asks why would he cling to life at this point, and says that no one becomes a pillar with such half-hearted determination. The fact that Gyomei is ready to die at any point doesn't only make him cool, it also makes him strong because fears don't cloud his judgment or slow him down. Gyomei is also skilled enough to sense when Kokushibo lies to him. He says that there was an exception, a person who didn't die from the mark, and he's right. That person was the Breath of the Sun user and strongest Demon Slayer in history, Yoriichi. Even though it's not physical, this small psychological victory against the centuries-old Upper Moon further illustrates how talented Gyomei is. There's much more to him than just being physically talented. Eventually, Sanemi jumps into the fight, but it's insane that Gyomei could last as long as he did against Kokushibo without receiving any serious injuries. We get even more of a sense of how ahead of the other pillars Gyomei is when the other pillars join the battle again. Sanemi is arguably the second strongest pillar, and yet the gap between him and Gyomei is obvious. Against an especially powerful attack, Gyomei not only defends himself, but even manages to use his chain to alter the angle of the attack so that Sanemi wouldn't lose both of his arms. In short, Gyomei can not only fight against Kokushibo, he can even save Sanemi in the process. Sanemi notices that the more damage he takes, the more he holds Gyomei back. At one point, Sanemi even tells Gyomei to forget about him, but luckily Muichiro saves him. During the fight, Gyomei gets access to the see-through world. Even though he can't see, he can sense it. Only the most advanced fighters like Kokushibo, Yoriichi, Tanjiro, and so on have gained access to this world, showing that Gyomei truly deserves to be considered among the strongest fighters ever. It is then Gyomei that turns the tide of the match. Yes, he has help from Muichiro and Sanemi, but Gyomei is the one that manages to throw a ball from his rosary and hit the Upper Moon's hand without him noticing in time. It throws Kokushibo off and allows Gyomei to take off the demon's right arm with his big iron ball. Now, keep in mind, if Kokushibo wasn't a demon, this would have been a big blow against him, as it would be for any swordsman. Kokushibo has to use demon powers to heal, which is a blow to his samurai's pride. Then Muichiro gets him with his blade that eventually turns red. Genya helps, and eventually Gyomei hits Kokushibo's head with his spiked ball, and with Sanemi's help, both of their weapons turn red and they succeed in knocking off Kokushibo's head. Kokushibo cannot help but think that Gyomei's speed of growth is comparable to a demon. He moves in ways that surpass his limit. The fact that Gyomei's weapon turned red is also significant. Red is undoubtedly the most powerful color. It was the same color that Yoriichi's blade was, and he was the strongest demon slayer who used the strongest breath. Gyomei was already strong, but during this fight he manifested the mark, gained access to the see-through world, and his weapon turned red. Those are huge advancements. Unlike Rengoku, who Akaza said was near his limit, Gyomei seems to keep surpassing his limit despite the fact that he's already the strongest pillar. By the time Kokushibo eventually disintegrates for good, he has mortally wounded Muichiro and Genya. Sanemi is badly wounded and has lost consciousness, but Gyomei is up and about. He's ready to move on immediately to fight Muzan. This is the caliber of fighter Gyomei is. He had help from the other pillars and Genya, but it's significant that Kokushibo didn't manage to significantly hurt him even when they fought one-on-one. He continued to grow quickly during that match and even managed to save Sanemi and turn the tide of the match after he accessed the see-through world. Would I say he's stronger than Upper Moon 1? No. He needed help and Upper Moon 1 almost succeeded in growing back his head. If he didn't give up the will to fight, he would have been invincible, aka unkillable, except through sunlight. However, now I do believe that Gyomei is more powerful than the other Upper Moons were, except potentially Akaza after he briefly managed to regrow his head, but he also ended up destroying destroying himself like Kokushibo. Gyomei as of now should be considered to be weaker than demons who have attained invincibility like Muzan, especially if they are fighting in an area with no sun. Nevertheless, I think he could have defeated Upper Moon 2 in a one-on-one fight at this point, which is saying a lot. The most exciting thing is that Gyomei still seems to have a lot of room to grow, and if Yoriichi could avoid the Demon Slayer Mark curse, it's possible that Gyomei will be able to avoid it too. I can't wait to see how strong Gyomei gets, and I have no doubt that he will play a vital role during the fight against Muzan. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to smash that like button to let me know. Remember, as soon as we hit 5,000 likes, I'll get started on the next vid ASAP. And you can vote for who that video will be about on Instagram at AnimeUproar. I'll put the link in the description and in a pinned comment. Remember to follow us there so you can help decide what videos I make in the future. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is very important, hit that notification bell or else you will not know when the next video comes out. Thanks again for everything, and until next time, see you, Space Cowboy.